on Colonial Sports Center. Women's basketball was back in action tonight as it took on George Mason, and we're headed to the UPMC Event Center for a live update. Men's basketball kicked off their season this week. See how they fared in their first matchups of the season. And men's soccer was on the road in Oakland in the first round of the Risley Men's Soccer Tournament. All that and more on a brand new episode of CSC.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Colonial Sports Center. My name is Colby Sherwood, and finally is returning is my favorite person to host with, Casey Irwine. Casey, what do we have for the lovely ladies and gentlemen at home tonight?
We've got so much stuff. It was a spicy week in RMU sports. We've got an exciting game tonight for women's basketball against George Mason. You've got Kobe. You went all the way out to Ohio State this weekend. We've got football again. We've got everything you want in RMU sports.
So we're going to tip the show off tonight with some breaking news from my producer. The women's basketball team's final score against the George Mason Patriots is in, and we're going to take a look at that for you. The Colonials win 53-52 on a final second rebound. A missed free throw by the Patriots was then collected by George Mason, and another shot was taken, but the rebound was corralled. Casey, and the Colonials are 2-0. What were your takeaways?
Big thing is that they out-rebounded the other team. That was a big improvement. And the finish, you had to be there to see it. Absolutely incredible finish. 1-point game, as you can see, it's going to be like that. And it gives a lot of hope for the women's basketball team this season for what looks like to be a fantastic season upcoming.
That's right. Now we have more from this game as Ethan Morrison is up at the UPMC Event Center to give us a more in-depth look, if you want, the game. So, Ethan, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Colby. Well, like you guys said, it was a crazy ending to tonight's game. 53-52, the final in favor of Robert Morris as they improved to 2-0 on the young season. Now, for Robert Morris, compared to the last game against St. Francis, PA on Monday, they had 22 turnovers against the Red Flash. Tonight, just 8 in the winning effort, and that was a big, big part in winning this game tonight for the Colonials. Also, Phoenix Gideon, 20 points. 9 rebounds, 1 rebound shy of a double-double. A very, very good sight to see, especially for a sophomore going into her sophomore year. They talk a lot about moving from your freshman to sophomore year. You get that big jump in production. We've seen that a lot out of Phoenix Gideon over the course of these first 2 games of the season, especially with the absence of Sol Castro. That was much needed for Robert Morris starting off strong here in the early going. Now also in the fourth quarter, things looked bleak for a little bit there. For Robert Morris, they were trailing big in that fourth quarter, but a 5-point swing by Mackenzie Amelia really turned the page for the Colonials. Got a couple of steals late in the final minutes of the game. Alejandra Mostral coming up big in the end there to put the finishing touches on this one with a steal and a layup to seal the 2-point win for the Colonials, and then a big defensive stop at the end to really seal the deal. Overall on the night for the Colonials, they shot just 25% from the field and 22% from beyond the arc, but they did just enough to defeat the Patriots here at the UPMC Event Center. They're back in action on Saturday to take on Waynesburg, the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets at 8 p.m. right back here at the UPMC Event Center. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Ethan. And more big news out of RMU Athletics today. After a first-round playoff exit, the RMU men's soccer head coach Jason O'Keefe stepped down today from his role in a very surprising news. Colby and I will have more info on that later in the show, so make sure you stick around to hear all about that.
Now going from that breaking news into some past news, as the women's basketball team was in action a little bit earlier this week on Monday as they hosted the St. Francis Red Flash for the 91st time, Casey. These teams have matched up on Monday at the UPMC Event Center to open up 2022 play. Let's head back and see that. All right, first quarter here at the UPMC Event Center. Mackenzie Amelia is going to send a really nice bounce pass to Rebecca Duomo, or Phoenix Gideon, excuse me, and she's going to make a really nice move. She had a really big day. It's 10-0 now. Felipa Gula, love saying that name, breaks Mackenzie Amelia's ankle, hits a 2 there. It was ruled a 2, 10-2. Now, moving on to the second quarter, 12-6. Rebecca Duomo to Phoenix Gideon makes it 14-6. 14-6 now, and Morris is going to give it to Duomo, hits a 3, and that makes it 17-6. Now we're going to continue this. Morris, Mackenzie Amelia from the parking lot, she hits it 22-7, moving on to second half now. We have more. Rebecca Duomo, she's going to drive here. Hits a nice under and over the rim to make it 26-10. 36-19 now. Elena Moore's going to hit a turnaround J here, and she'll make it 36-21. The Flash, we're not going away quietly. But Simone Morris will hit this shot, and she'll make it 40-27. Huge shot here. 42-31 now. Morris, step back, and she'll hit it. And that makes it 46-31. And we're going to see Mackenzie Millie to Rebecca Duomo again. She'll hit the three, off and in. Final score 49-36. The Colonials take the 91st matchup against St. Francis.
Now on to men's basketball, they started off their season this week against Ohio State, which we have a great package for after this. But first, let's hear how they followed up that game with their game against Pitt Greensburg in the first ever matchup between them and the Bobcats. And first half, started off here, fast break, Last puts it over to Enoch Cheeks for 3 and banks it in perfectly there. And now on to 11-6. TJ Wainwright over Rex Speck's 4-point play for the Colonials. Exciting stuff there. Makes it 14-6. Now out to JoJo France for 3. Still in it was the Bobcats. They were keeping a game despite being Div 3. Now bounce pass, slam dunk by Mayers, 20-9. Robert Morris as they start to pull away. And now Corbin out to Wainwright for 3. Bang again. TJ Wainwright making a name for himself on the Colonials team as he now assists to Corbin for the corner 3 and another 3 from RMU. They were on fire from outside the arc. Now on to the second half. Wainwright, fast break, scoop, layup for Last, 59-31 Colonials. Now out Jones, jump pass to Cummings puts it up, jump shot is in, closes the gap to 65-37. Now Corbin has it, steps, wide open 3, never gonna miss that. And now 73-41 RMU pulling away. Now walk-ons in, O'Grady up to Jeffrey, 79-47, and the game would close out 84-49. Colonials making a statement in their second game of the season. Now we've got words from head coach.
Find quality shots, and that was something that we really wanted to emphasize coming into the game is, making sure we were as locked in as we possibly could be on the defensive side. We're trying to get everyone to understand that, if we defend the way we're supposed to defend, the offensive part will take care of itself, and that's really where our focus has to be. And I thought for a majority of the game tonight we did a good job of that.
All right, now before the men's basketball team hosted the Bobcats, they headed to Columbus, Ohio to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes in a massive opening game. The teams have only met one time in 2017 in Value City Arena, and that's where this matchup was. So let's see if the Colonials could get the upset. And unfortunately, no, it was a massive blowout. Buckeyes win 91-53. Bryce Sensabaugh, off the injury, had 17 points and 9 rebounds. Justice Swain, he was injured. 20 points, 2 rebounds, looked phenomenal. Enoch Cheeks, though, opened up with a statement as he had 17 points, 2 rebounds, and Stephon Walker had 10 points, 6 rebounds as well. The Colonials fell in this one, but a good first half in that one as well.
Now, CSN sent out a triple team of all-stars, which included your very own Colby Sherwin to break down this game. We have Nate Breisinger to give us all the info about Ohio State versus RMU.
College basketball was back in a big way around the country on Monday to tip off the 2022-2023 campaign. For the second consecutive season, the Robert Morris men's basketball team made a stop against a Power 5 opponent, this time at the Ohio State University. After a Horizon League tournament appearance a year ago, the Colonials were looking to start the season off with a bang against a Buckeyes team that is coming off of a round of 32 appearance in March Madness. At Value City Arena, the Colonials looked to play spoiler in front of a solid opening night crowd. With the national anthem complete and the starting lineups announced, it was time for a new chapter for the Colonials to begin. Ohio State started the contest off and running, but the Colonials remained in reach, and as the midway point of the first half neared, Robert Morris found itself with a 15-13 lead, but as soon as RMU jumped in front, Ohio State responded and then started to pour it on. The Colonials failed to find the rhythm that they had in the beginning of the game as they began to rotate in some.
Back, we hit the hardwood as volleyball was in action as well, and we have a soccer discussion with Sam Dutch as they were in action against Oakland to begin the Horizon League playoffs right here on Colonial Sports Center.
the death of George Floyd, who died in police custody Monday night.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation. It's going to take more than just us, as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to help us make a change, because it just can't be us.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center, and as I mentioned in the show, head coach Jason O'Keefe for the men's soccer team stepped down from his role. Colby, what are your thoughts on this?
He's been here for 3 years, and he led 2 Horizon League playoff tournament appearances. It's really interesting. He did say in the breaking news that he left because his son lives in North Carolina. He wanted to go see his son. He was named the head coach in 2020, back-to-back Horizon League appearances. I said, now 12-24-5 record is not great, but they almost did win against Oakland. We'll bring up that game as well. And Sam Dutch will be here to break down what she thinks as well. What about you?
Well, it's a respectful decision because you really just want to be your family. Family comes over everything. But what he did here was really great. 2 straight play appearances in a row and laid a nice, solid foundation for the future. Now RMU just has to carefully pick their next head coach and hope to keep the foundation they laid. Hope that players like Friedrich Pacelli and Chase Gilly stay on the team so that going into next season they can hope for another at least playoff appearance and maybe a run.
Now, you have more in-depth look at what happened in the first round of Horizon League playoff tournament against the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, correct?
I just so happen to have quite the rundown for
right.
men's soccer versus Oakland, the first round of the Horizon League playoffs. CSN sent a big team up there for an exciting matchup in Horizon League playoff action. And it was a tie game late into it. Big-time player Chase Skilly scored in the 9th, assisted by Lawrence. RMU had a red card early on from Dazi Afabawu. Balin for Oakland tied with a nice goal in the 69th minute. In extra time, Balin assisted DeRetzer in the 96th minute. Then Shear for RMU scored at the death in the 106th minute. And in a long penalty shootout, Haskins eventually missed for RMU, and they were knocked out in the first round to end Coach O'Keefe's time at RMU for head coach position. But what a great season it was for the team, and they have a lot looking forward to, and really exciting game. Glad that CSN was able to get up there with a big team 3.
That's right. It may have been an unbearable loss to the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, but Sam Dutch is here to break down a little bit more in-depth look of that game, as she was out there with Finn Lyons as well. So let's take a look and see what Sam had for us.
Hello and welcome to Rochester, Michigan on this windy afternoon. We're here for round 1 of the Horizon League playoffs as Robert Morris Colonials take on the Oakland Golden Grizzlies in a quarterfinal matchup.
The Colonials were coming off of their 5-0 win against IUPUI in the 5th spot in the Horizon League, facing the 4th place seed, Oakland. Kicking things off in the 8th minute, the top goal scorer this season for RMU, Chase Gilly, found the back of the net with an assist from Charlie Lawrence, putting the Colonials in the lead. Not too long after, the offensive pressure from the Grizzlies was too much as William Dodzi Afawabu received a straight red card. This intensified the game and made it a bit more whistle-friendly, also putting the Colonials down a man for the rest of the match. The Colonials led at the end of the first half, but in the second, the Golden Grizzlies capitalized on some mistakes and tied up the game 1-1 with a goal from Gabriel Balin. At the end of regulation, the score remained at 1 apiece, so it was time to enter 2 10-minute overtime periods. Oakland capitalized first in the 95th minute when Charlie Retzer put one behind Petrelli to take a 2-1 lead. In the second overtime period, RMU tied it back up when Lucas Shearer capitalized on a free kick, making it a 2-2 game. In the intense final seconds, Oakland found the back of the net, but it was deemed offside to force penalty kicks. After 9 rounds of penalty kicks, the game ended with Oakland succeeding when Jack Klomparens scored and Jacob Haskins missed. It was a nail-biting and extremely close game that ended with some sad eyes for the Colonials. Head coach Jason O'Keefe shared his thoughts following the match.
Couldn't be more proud of the effort they showed. I mean, the amount of adversity they faced, to just keep answering the bell, keep executing, keep getting, everything that we could out of the game. I mean, a lot of teams would lose that game after going down a man 3-4 goals, and we just had a belief and a fight and a togetherness that, we've been building, and I'm super excited about the future to see that group continue on with those things, and, that'll be us one day.
Goalkeeper Frederick Petrelli commented on the closeness and his appreciation for the team.
Yeah, the camaraderie is the best I've ever seen on the team, and I'm very, very grateful for this team. Everybody's putting in their work. There's nobody slacking off. It's really, really impressive, and I'm sad that this group didn't get what it deserved. We deserved to go further, but at the end we left it all out here, and couldn't have done more, I think.
The Grizzlies will travel to Cleveland State on Thursday for the second round of the Horizon League playoffs and are a semifinal match at 1 o'clock. For Colonial Sports Center, I'm Sam Dutch.
Thank you for that, Sam, as she joins me, Sam Dutch, our soccer analyst, to break down more of the men's soccer team season, and unfortunately they're falling at the hands of the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. Sam, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great, Colby. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, what are your impressions of the penalty shootout loss to the Golden Grizzlies?
Oh my goodness, after that game, the only words that came to my mind were just, what a game. I mean, the roller coaster that game was insane. It was such a close match. Like, it could have been anybody's game. I mean, like, RMU led the game in the start, and then right after that red card, I mean, they played over 90 minutes of a match with a man down. So I think just the fact that they were able to hold their own and to keep pushing and not just fall under all of that was really, really memorable for them.
Definitely an impressive performance when you lose a man so early into the game and so close, just a missed penalty shot ends up ending their season. But speaking of that, what are your overall thoughts of the 2022 season for the men's soccer team?
Overall, I mean, it's been a great season. It's been definitely a roller coaster. I mean, they started off, it's kind of come in waves. They were on a little losing streak. They got hot on a winning streak, a losing streak again, and then towards going into the Horizon League tournament, they really kind of upped their game and were really hot coming into it on top. Like the season recap, Chase Gilley absolutely led the team his first season here as a Colonial, and he had 7 goals, 16 points. He led the team there, and even Frederick in goal. I mean, he's a sophomore and he's already making such an impact. Such a young squad, and I just think there's so much potential for them in the future.
Definitely a lot of potential there. You see Hugo Kadima as well, added 3 goals and 8 points. And Frederick Petrelli, Spider-Man, if you will, fantastic in net this year. Huge for the Colonials. But we had some breaking news earlier today with Coach O'Keefe stepping down for the team.
Yeah.
So now that Coach is gone, what does that mean for the Colonials?
I mean, it'll definitely be interesting to see, where they come from here. O'Keefe kind of really gave them kind of a structure, really built the team up. A lot of these guys he knew, he brought them in. Like the Gillies followed them from where they were before, and they followed him to this program. A lot of them just became really close, so they'll have to see. They started off, built a great foundation. He really was respectable. He seemed to really loved building the team up. So I just hope that they find another new coach that will do the same and see where we go from there.
That's right. Coach O'Keefe bringing the Gilley twins over from Appalachian State. It's a very interesting time to be a Colonial soccer fan. But Sam, thank you so much for what you did with the package and joining me tonight.
So much fun. Thanks for having me.
All right. Now, when we come back, we still have football and volleyball, and still top 5 plays are on the way here on Colonial Sports Center.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today, we face an unprecedented crisis. Tens of millions of refugees have been forced from their homes. But you can make a difference. Turn disruption and despair to hope and opportunity. Even small amounts make a big difference. Provide shelter, support, or jobs in your community. The more we understand, the greater sense of belonging we create. Act now. Visit supportcrisisrelief.org.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. Now as the football season winds down to a close, the Colonials keep fighting on in search of their first win, as last weekend they played the Charleston Southern Buccaneers. Let's take a look at how they fared against the big-time Bucks. And now you can see for the first time since week 1, this team put up as many points as Kobe paid for his fake Converse, with 21 points there. Freshman Zach Taylor came in, had 2 touchdown passes. Scarborough, 81-yard pick six, but it was not enough. RMU's rushing defense once again struggled. They let up 3 rushing touchdowns, including 2, 4 more. And Bucks now lead the all-time series 2-1. The team travels to Murray State in hopes of their first win next week. Colby, what are your thoughts on the football team?
You know, it's rough every now and then, especially when you start 0-8, 0-9 at this point. I'll have you know my Converses were $20. But okay. I think that the running game is going to get there. The defense will improve at some point. You just got to, I guess, have faith. They'll travel to Murray State and Kentucky and try and finally get back in the win column.
Belief in Coach Clark, former NFL linebacker.
Now here are the Big South standings. The Colonials are all the way at the bottom at 0-4. When you're 0-9, 0-4, Casey, you're just not going to be anywhere near the top. But they have Bryant as well to move up, hopefully in conference standings. Charleston Southern beat them, and North Carolina A&T still at top 3-0. They would head to the playoffs out of the Big South.
It is interesting because RMU closes the season against the team above them, Bryant. So that'll be quite the matchup of the 2 bottom teams in the league. It should be an exciting game. Hopefully that will be the time where RMU gets their first win of the season. Maybe we'll see a fan storm of the field. You never know.
Pack the Joe for that one. Let's see if they can win that. But we're going to move on to another fall sport at the UPMC Event Center. The volleyball team went to the arena to take on Oakland on the first, and they fell. Next up was the Penguins from Youngstown State. We're looking to get back in the win column. Let's see if they could. Head up to the UPMC Event Center. This is the first set. It is 8-7 here. Josie Barham, she's going to get it over to Abby Householder, and she'll get the kill on this one, sends it over the net, and that makes it 9-7. Moving on now. Abby Ryan's going to get a nice setup here from Caitlin Brown. She'll make it 20-20, and Caitlin Brown's had a fantastic freshman year for the Colonials. Moving on now. Pulsar Gerson, she's going to get a chance and kills it to end the set. 25-22, Penguins take set 1. Moving on to set 2 now. Dana Melvin, she's going to get it sent over here. Penguins pass it around, sends it over the net, just can't get the reach by Carmody. That gets the lead now. Allie Crispin will get a service, will send it over here, and the Penguins end up giving the point over there. Abby Ryan, that 25-24 here. Penguins looking to end the set here. Ball is going around the volley here. Colonials looking for it. Crispin just can't get it. It goes out, and the Penguins win set 2. Moving on to set 3 now. Caitlin Brown here is going to try. It's blocked. That's Emma Brown, Point for the Penguins, or for the Colonials. Moving on now. Abby Ryan, she had a heck of a day. She'll get the kill there. 21-20. Colonials looking to extend the set. 24-22. Colonials looking to win it here. Abby Ryan, she'll get the kill. It was partially tipped, but the Colonials still win. Moving on to the 4th set. Colonials looking to send it to the 5th set now. Caitlin Brown sets up Abby Ryan once again. She'll get the kill off a Penguin. Makes it 23-21. Colonials running out of time here. Paula Gushing, she'll get the block, and the Penguins lead 24-21. Colonials down to their final point. 24-21 here. Penguins, it's hit out of bounds. Abby Ryan loses the 4th set 3-1. Penguins take it.
And another interesting game right there. Now we're going to look at the volleyball standings as we'll look over to see where RMU sits.
Horizon League play has been interesting so far this year. The Colonials are at the bottom, unfortunately, only 1 point out against IUPUI, as you can move all the way up to above Purdue Fort Wayne if they take care of their next two. It's not a bad season for Colonials. Coach Denny Doherty in his first full year, he's got the team going in the right direction, just a few bounces here and there ended up hurting them.
Yeah, it was a great start for the season, a lot of potential. Doherty, he's putting in good work to build a good culture for the team so that home games can fill the team with confidence. And from what I've learned from personal experience in volleyball, two of the most important parts are communication and filling in and just doing the simple stuff. And those are both things that the team has struggled with. So if during the offseason, the team can put that together, I think that they can definitely move much higher up in the Horizon League as this team builds with Coach Doherty.
A lot of time left there. But if you want to see more Colonial coverage, make sure to check out Colonial Sports Network. We did have a little bit of technical difficulties with the Ohio State video for you. So if you want to see the full video by Nate Breisinger, I highly suggest you check it out on colonialsportsnetwork.com or on Twitter at RMU_CSN for all the Colonial coverage you need.
Now, next up for Colonial Sports Center, we're going to give you your most favorite part, the top 5 plays of the week, and what Colby and I will be looking for in the games to watch for RMU. Stay tuned right after this.
Do you want to meet a family with a transgender kid? Here we are. Max loves to do backflips. Max loves to play his ukulele. Max loves to just be a kid and just be himself. When I found out I was pregnant, all I really wanted was a happy, healthy, whole child, and that's what I got. I think it's really important for people to know that trans kids don't have a political agenda. They are just kids. Like any parent, we love our kids unconditionally, and we will never stop fighting for them. Stand with us. Protect our families.
Wait! Not in the toilet!
No, don't do that. No.
Don't hit your brother! Ooh!
Not again!
What did I tell you about playing in the mud?
Raffy, not so close to the pool! Wait!
Frankie, happy. What are you doing? We told you never to touch the gun!
I'm sorry, I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
You could have hurt yourself!
Safely store your guns. Unload, lock, and away from ammo.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. As Casey was alluding to before we went to break, this is the top moment of the show. It's the top 5 plays. Casey, are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm so excited. You know it's everyone's favorite part, as is mine.
All right, it's time for the top 5 plays of the week. What up to the UPMC Event Center? It's the volleyball team, 24-10 against William & Mary. Colonials pass it around, just boop over the net, 24-11 on that one. Here it is again for you. I like that idea, Casey.
Just a sneaky little set over the net, gets them at least half of the time. Now we move on to number 4. We've got football, and this is an earlier play, but what a play it was as Dayton takes it the distance, and RMU is taking the lead against earlier play, I guess.
Moving on to number 3, women's soccer. This is going to end a little bit earlier here. Watch her go around, and she ends up scoring the goal there, Casey. But what are your games? What game do you think people should check out this week?
Well, a game to watch this week, I'd say, would be the women's basketball game against Waynesburg at the UPM Center this Saturday at 8 p.m. If you went to the game today, oh, what a game. What a last-second finish. And for both teams, player to watch for RMU in the first match between these teams, watch sophomore guard Rebecca Duomo, 14 points, 5 assists, 3 steals Monday versus St. Francis. And then for the Waynesburg, then you say Marley Wolf. What a name that is, by the way. She was one of their top players last season. Started out with 6 points, 1 rebound, and 1 steal Tuesday versus Cage Western Reserve. And it should be quite the game this Saturday. Women's basketball heating up right now.
And I'm going to actually keep it with the women's basketball team for my game to watch as they continue their season. And Well, I think you should check out their next game against West Virginia Wesley. The Colonials will be taking on their first time, the all-time meeting, Danielle Volvitich, 8 points, 6 assists, 2 steals against St. Francis. She's going to get a bigger role this year with the Shia Kloffenstein transferring. I think that's a really big thing for the Colonials. And Shaylee Woods, 10.1 points a game, 2.1 rebounds, and 31.4% from three-point field last year. Casey, what do you think?
I'm really excited for both of those games, and sorry we didn't get top 5 plays. That's all